Ever wondered which special bending abilities in Avatar are the most powerful, and who the strongest users are? Today we're going to rank and explain all 12 special bending abilities in the Avatar universe. Just a heads up, we'll group each ability into their 4 distinctive elements, which are Earth, Water, Air, and Fire, and our ranking is based on how each ability can be used in different situations, its overall strength, and the skill of its most iconic wielders. Let's start with earthbending abilities. Starting at number 12, we have Sandbending. Ever wondered what it would be like to control sand? That's what Sandbending is all about. Originating from the vast Siwang Desert, Sandbending is a specialized form of earthbending that uses sand as its medium. Imagine being in a desert surrounded by endless dunes, and being able to manipulate them to your will. Pretty cool, right? The strongest user of Sandbending is Gashyun, a master who is adapted to the harsh desert life. He uses his ability for both navigation and combat, making him a formidable force in sandy environments. Whether it's creating sandstorms to disorient enemies, or forming solid structures out of loose grains, Gashyun's skills are impressive. However, there's a catch. Sandbending is limited by the need for sand. Without it, a sandbender is pretty much powerless. This limitation is why sandbending ranks lower compared to the other bending abilities. Despite this, in the right conditions, it can be incredibly powerful and versatile. Next up at number 11 is Seismic Sense. It allows earthbenders to perceive vibrations in the ground, giving them detailed awareness of their surroundings. It's like having super sensitive feet that can detect even the smallest movements, effectively functioning as a form of earth-based echolocation. The strongest user of this technique is Toph Beifong, who discovered and mastered it. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, Toph uses her seismic sense to see the world around her despite being blind. Remember how she could sense even the tiniest insect crawling on the ground, or detect hidden tunnels and traps? That's the power of seismic sense in action. While extremely useful for detecting movements and hidden objects, seismic sense is more of a supplementary skill rather than a primary bending power. It enhances an earthbender's abilities by providing crucial situational awareness, but doesn't directly contribute to offensive or defensive moves. At number 10, we have Lavabending, one of the most powerful and dangerous bending abilities, combining the raw strength of earthbending with the intense heat of firebending. Imagine being able to manipulate molten rock, turning the ground beneath your enemies into a river of lava. Sounds like something out of a nightmare, right? The most skilled lavabender we've seen is Gazan from The Legend of Korra. He uses lavabending in combat to create devastating attacks that can melt through almost anything. Remember that scene where he turns the entire battlefield into a lava pit? Yeah, that's the kind of power we're talking about. Gazan's ability to create and control lava makes him incredibly destructive, but it also requires immense concentration and control. One wrong move and things can go south real fast. Lavabending ranks high on the list because of its sheer destructive power. However, it's also one of the hardest bending abilities to master. The combination of earth and fire means that a lavabender needs to be skilled in both elements, making it a rare and dangerous skill to possess. Let's move on to number 9 with Metalbending. Metalbending is an advanced form of earthbending that allows benders to manipulate metal. This skill was pioneered by Toph Beifong, who discovered that metal contained small fragments of earth that she could bend. Imagine having the ability to twist and shape metal at will. That's what metalbending is all about. Toph Beifong from Avatar: The Last Airbender is the strongest metalbender we've seen. Her discovery revolutionized not only combat, but also policing. In The Legend of Korra, Toph's legacy lives on as metalbending becomes a crucial part of law enforcement. Remember when Lin Beifong, Toph's daughter, uses metal cables to swing through the city like a superhero? That's the kind of versatility and precision metalbending offers. What makes metalbending rank so high is its precision and utility. Whether it's creating armor, constructing buildings, or apprehending criminals, metalbending is incredibly useful. Plus, the ability to control something as strong as metal gives metalbenders a significant advantage in both defense and offense. Now let's shift from solid earth to the fierce flames of firebending. Heating things up at number 8 is Combustionbending, a rare and incredibly powerful firebending technique. Instead of traditional flames, combustion benders create explosions using intense mental focus. The strongest user we've seen is Combustion Man from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Remember him? This guy could blast through solid rock and entire buildings with just a thought. His long-range, powerful attacks made him a formidable foe for Aang and the gang. Imagine someone aiming at you with pinpoint accuracy from miles away and causing an explosion right where you stand. That's Combustion Man's specialty. Despite its high power, combustion bending has a major weakness. It's vulnerable to disruption. In the series, a well-aimed strike to Combustion Man's third eye tattoo could disable his ability, turning his advantage into a liability. This vulnerability keeps Combustionbending from ranking even higher, but there's no denying its sheer destructive potential. Sparking interest at number 7 is Lightning Generation, an advanced firebending technique that allows benders to create and redirect lightning. This skill requires immense precision and control, as one wrong move could result in disaster. The strongest user of this technique is Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Remember how she used lightning with such deadly accuracy? Azula could generate lightning with pinpoint precision, making her attacks both powerful and lethal. In the iconic scene where she battles Zuko, the tension is palpable as she prepares to strike with lightning. It's a move that can end a fight in seconds. What makes Lightning Generation rank so high is its lethal potential. However, it's also incredibly risky. The bender needs to remain calm and focused, as generating lightning requires a clear and steady mind. One slip in concentration, and the lightning could backfire. From the raging fires, let's glide into the serene yet powerful world of airbending. Soaring to number 6 is Flight, achieved by mastering airbending to an extreme level, allowing the bender to fly without the need for gliders or other tools. The most notable practitioner of this incredible skill is Guru Lagima, mentioned in the Legend of Korra. His teachings emphasized spiritual enlightenment, which allowed him to let go of earthly attachments and achieve his ultimate freedom: flight. Imagine soaring through the sky with no constraints, completely at peace and in control. That's the essence of Lagima's mastery. This ability ranks highly because of its unparalleled mobility. It allows the user to evade attacks effortlessly and move across vast distances quickly. In battle, being able to take to the skies can be a game changer, giving the bender a significant strategic advantage. Drifting into the spirit world, number 5 is Spiritual Projection. It allows an airbender to separate their spirit from their body and travel great distances in spirit form. It's like having an out-of-body experience, but with a purpose. This ability lets the user explore places they couldn't physically reach, making it perfect for reconnaissance and gathering information without being seen. Jinora from The Legend of Korra is the strongest user of this ability. Remember when she used it to help Korra and her friends by scouting ahead and finding critical information? Jinora's mastery of spiritual projection shows how valuable and versatile this skill can be. Despite its incredible utility, spiritual projection is limited in direct combat. You can't physically interact with the world while in spirit form, so it's more about strategy and communication than anything. But in the right hands, it can turn the tide by providing vital intel and guidance. Moving into the water element, at number 4, we have Healing, a unique ability specific to waterbenders, utilizing water's natural restorative powers to mend physical wounds and some ailments. Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender is the strongest user of this ability. Remember when she healed Aang's injuries after his fierce battles? Her skills were crucial, especially when the stakes were high. In one memorable scene, she even healed Zuko's scarred face, showcasing the incredible power and compassion behind waterbending healing techniques. Healing is ranked so high because it's a vital support ability. While it may not be combative, its importance cannot be understated. In the heat of battle, having a healer like Katara can mean the difference between life and death. It's a non-combative skill, but its ability to restore and sustain makes it indispensable. As we edge closer to the top, number 3 brings us to one of the most controversial and powerful bending techniques, Bloodbending, an advanced dark form of waterbending. Bloodbending allows the bender to manipulate the water within another person's body to control their movements. It's like having the ultimate puppet strings, but way more sinister. The strongest user of this ability is Yakone from The Legend of Korra. Yakone could use bloodbending with the aid of the full moon, which is typically required for this technique. Imagine the sheer terror of being paralyzed or controlled against your will. That's the power Yakone wielded. In one of the series' most intense scenes, he uses bloodbending to subdue an entire courtroom, showing just how dangerous and potent this skill can be. Bloodbending ranks so high because of its extreme power and the ethical questions it raises. It's a technique that can completely control or paralyze others, making it incredibly dangerous. The fact that it can be used to override another person's will makes it both feared and controversial. Rooting at number 2 is Plantbending. Originating from swamp environments, it allows waterbenders to control plant life and vines. The strongest user of this ability is Hugh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Hugh uses the swamp's ecosystem to his advantage, manipulating the dense vegetation to create powerful and unpredictable attacks. Picture him summoning massive vines to entrap enemies, or creating a protective barrier out of thick foliage. It's both awe-inspiring and intimidating. Plant bending is ranked so high due to its versatility and the ability to manipulate the environment ecologically. Whether it's for combat, creating shelter, or traversing difficult terrain, plant bending offers a unique edge. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the number 1 special bending ability in the Avatar universe, Energybending, an ancient and exceedingly rare bending form that allows the user to transfer or remove bending abilities. It's the ultimate power move, offering control over the very essence of bending itself. The strongest user of this technique is Avatar Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Aang King used Energybending in a momentous scene to remove Fire Lord Ozai's bending abilities, stripping away his power without taking his life. This not only showcased Aang's compassion and creativity, but also highlighted the immense stakes involved in Energybending. Later in The Legend of Korra, Energybending was used again to restore Korra's bending after it was taken away, further demonstrating its life-altering potential. Energybending ranks highest due to its unparalleled impact and control over all bending forms. It has the power to grant or take away the ability to bend, making it the most consequential and awe-inspiring technique in the bending universe. And there you have it, fellow Avatar fans. From controlling sand and metal to the ultimate power of Energybending, each ability has its own unique strengths, with Energybending being the most powerful for its control over all bending forms. Are you curious about the strongest characters in Avatar? Well, that's the subject of this other video. Click on this link right here to see it. Go ahead, click it.